I'll start by talking about some of the annoying moments you go through in your day. I think one of the most annoying ones is getting stuck in traffic, maybe unexpected rainfall, your boss asking you to stay late on a day that you specifically planned to leave early. For me, this particularly used to be sales calls. Sales calls used to annoy me. I receive numerous sales calls every single day, and for two reasons specifically. Number one, I didn't pay much attention to where I put my information as a kid. So I thought it was wise to click allow on any site that wanted my information. And secondly, now that I'm older and the founder of a digital marketing agency called Scribble Social, I am keen to stay aware about my clients' competition. So it's not just a hobby, it's an essential part of my work. But I have something very interesting for you. So the next time that you receive a sales call, you probably won't hang up. Every time they try to sell something to me, I sell something to them in return. I start pitching to them. I know it sounds stupid, but give it a minute, it gets interesting. For instance, if they tell me that I'm eligible for a particular insurance policy, I ask them to connect me to their company's marketing team. You might think it's a joke, but we actually closed a client using this tactic recently. Even if it doesn't bring us new clients, it improves brand awareness for us. About 999 sales calls led me to this one breakthrough. You see, failures pave the path to success. And let me explain why that's true, especially for someone like me who deals with a lot of anxiety. When you're an anxious person, you feel like you have more failures than you already do. That's why celebrating the little wins becomes even more important. I am someone who, over the years, has learned to stick with my failures, and I can prove this to you with two solid examples. First, like a lot of students that don't know what they want to do after school, I was extremely confused too. I picked fashion for my undergraduate studies, even though it wasn't my true calling. I struggled for the first 6 months of college until I realized that this is exactly what I did not want to do. Determined to find a solution, I started exploring other fields like graphic design, brand communication, and many more. And I ended up completing about 13 internships within these roles within the first 3 years of college. It was through this diverse experience that I discovered my love for marketing, which is what I do now. I remember in my fourth year, I actually went up to my dean and I begged her. I begged her to alter the timings of my classes and let me pursue a full time job. Thankfully, she was very supportive. She saw me find my true calling and she completely supported me in doing this. Looking back in hindsight, it's the best thing that could have happened to me. Second, I went to London to pursue my master's degree in media production. I was drawn to this because of the booming video content industry at the time. I also started working as a temp or a temporary worker at Harrods, where my tasks mainly involved folding clothes, ironing garments, guiding customers to stores. This was usually on the days that I didn't have classes. Getting a job at Harrods was not an easy task, but it was worth it. We used to hang out at cafes around the mall, and we used to wait to receive a call from Harrods so that when someone didn't show up or someone called in sick, we'd immediately rush to the reception and wait to be taken in as a temp. I had a great opportunity. I got to work with brands like Valentino, Gucci, Tom Ford, and whatnot. They had a lot of staff shortages at the time, and we got lucky in working with them. What I cherish the most about this job, given that Harrods attracts tourists, is that I got to learn about consumer behavior from across the world. A few months in, about I think 4 months in, I won an internship related to a film project that may or may not have been involved with a British Secret Service agent. I was thrilled and I was ready to embrace this experience fully. However, just before shooting began, I traveled back to India and I fractured my right ankle. Despite the setback, my father had faith in me. He had faith that I would be able to manage on my own in the UK. So, leveraging his support, I returned on the originally planned day, but still ended up losing the internship of my dreams. Due to my restricted mobility and compromised efficiency, I had to step down and let the runner up take charge of this internship, this fabulous opportunity. However, I didn't let this setback in particular, lower my morale. The only time I left the accommodation that I stayed at was with my friends supporting me, very literally. I couldn't leave the accommodation on my own because we lived, on a slope, and it was very tough. My friends made sure that they were there for me and didn't make me feel like I was bedridden for those 3 months. That is also surprisingly when we got really close to the head of security at our accommodation. His name was Ray. He would offhand give us valuable insights. And there was one that really stuck with me. It was called the vacuum theory. He said, and I quote, let me give you a fun example. He said, when you want something valuable in your life, you have to make space for it. He also followed it up with an example that didn't really resonate with me. He said, if you want more clothes, you have to throw out your old ones. But soon I realized that the vacuum theory states that in order to make space for better things in your life, you have to let some things go. This translated for me in that moment as if you're looking for your next big job, you have to let the baggage of losing your last internship go. I utilized the 3 months when I had a fracture to start diving into the nitty gritty of other things I found interesting during this phase of, I would call it, intense learning and upskilling. It eventually led me to secure a position with a prominent OTT platform for over a year, and I gained some valuable experience with them. Additionally, I was also able to identify my truest friends, the ones who stood by me through this challenging time. So you tell me, was this a breakthrough or not? How often, amidst the normal flow of life, do we get to cherish these moments truly? Throughout the years, amidst all the achievements, I've also had my fair share of challenges. Navigating my way through this anxiety inducing journey was not easy. Additionally, adding to all of this was a time where I got mugged there, and that incident kept holding me back from stepping out alone. I got through all of this because I got through all of these experiences in particular because I understood the delicate balance between persisting through your failures and making excuses. Everything in this world happens for a reason. And if things aren't working out for you right now, it just means you're a few failures away from your big breakthrough. I know people get stuck up in their failures and decide not to move forward. But what I have realized is that there are only two ways it could work out, right? You either don't try and avoid failing, or you try as hard as you can and use your failures as stepping stones towards success. And there's only one of these two ways that actually does include success. Let's say you do win. How do you make these wins worth it? I do this by fighting harder, working smarter for my next win. I also do this by documenting all of it. So whenever I lose hope, I can look back and see that I did what I once thought was next to impossible. And I do this with the support of my loved ones around me. However, I would say my most significant win and my most significant achievement and breakthrough over the years has been establishing my own digital marketing agency, Scribble Social. I didn't have too much agency experience when I started, but I did have a lot of marketing experience. Even in the midst of a pandemic, I embarked on this entrepreneurial journey with just one intern by my side. We faced numerous challenges. We faced attrition. We faced people leaving without notices. We faced clients that didn't pay us on time. However, we persevered through it all. Today, I take immense pride in leading a team of exceptionally talented individuals at Scribble Social who tirelessly serve our amazing clients day in and day out. I would like to leave you with 3 things today. 1, my ex-boss, I don't know if he meant this as a joke or not, always told me, nothing is impossible, get it done. And somehow I learned to get it done. So I say this to my team today, and it seems to work. Number 2, if you're compassionate, grateful, and even a little bit witty, you're already halfway there. And number 3, use your next sales call as an opportunity. It has been a challenging but enjoyable ride, and it took me around 999 failures to reach this breakthrough, the stage of TEDx today. Thank you.